Once you have safely and legally arrived at the range, you must be able to fire your weapon in a safe manner so as not to endanger others or yourself. There are numerous rules that could be listed concerning safety. Only the most important and applicable ones will be mentioned. These safety rules apply to all types of firearms and air guns. The first one is, all guns are considered loaded. If you treat every firearm as if it were loaded, then people would not be getting killed by those deadly unloaded guns that we hear so much about. Most people would not point a loaded gun at anybody, but you would be surprised at how many people will look down the barrel of an unloaded gun or allow the muzzle to point at another person thinking that it is unloaded. Therefore, the mindset to have with firearms is that they are loaded all of the time. Number 2 is, never put your finger on the trigger or inside of the trigger guard until ready to fire. If the trigger is not pulled and held to the rear, the gun will not fire. If your finger is on the trigger and you trip or fall with your handgun, you will not be able to voluntarily prevent the muscles from contracting in your index finger. Muscles in the body tend to act sympathetically and will try to contract all at once when a person is startled or is off balance. This safety rule is one that is very important to police officers. These individuals sometimes have to walk or run with their handguns out of the holster. Most of these circumstances are high risk and stressful. Even police building entry and hostage rescue teams keep their finger off of the trigger during the performance of their duties. They know that if they have to shoot a suspect, they can do it just as fast with their finger off of the trigger, while at the same time reducing the chance of an accidental discharge. Even though these individuals are highly trained with firearms, they don't lose sight of basic firearm safety. Rule number 3, never point a gun at anything you do not wish to shoot. If you keep the muzzle of the gun pointed at inanimate objects, such as the ground or the sky, you'll be that much safer. Keep in mind that if your handgun fires into a concrete floor, the bullet will ricochet and lose little of its energy as it travels along the floor. Be conscious of your weak or support hand when firing. Make sure that the muzzle does not pass in front of it while drawing or gripping the pistol. A gunshot wound will permanently damage a person's hand. The last of the main safety rules is, be sure of your target and background. If you are shooting at a location other than a properly designed outdoor or indoor range, know what is around you. Don't shoot near residential or commercial areas. The noise will probably generate a visit by the police. Bullets travel a great distance after they have left the barrel of the weapon. .22 caliber rimfire projectiles can travel over a quarter mile. High-powered rifle ammunition can travel over 3 miles. That's pretty far. Give yourself a 5-mile radius from where you're firing to any area containing people. That is the safest way to shoot if you're not on a range that has a suitable backstop. There are some other rules which we'll list that will add to your toolbox of safety rules. Each time a weapon is handed to anybody for any reason, the magazine is removed and the action or cylinder is opened. This way the person receiving or inspecting the weapon can see for himself or herself that it is unloaded. Eye and ear protection should be worn during any type of firing. Your eyes are very easy to protect but hard to replace. Buy a good set of shooting glasses, or if you wear glasses, always wear them while shooting. Both revolvers and semi-automatics can spit a variety of powder and lead during firing, and most of this will end up near your eyes. Hearing protection is very easy to wear and will literally prevent you from going deaf. If you ever fire a Magnum handgun cartridge or a high-powered rifle cartridge without hearing protection, you will immediately wish you hadn't. Even .22 caliber ammunition can produce high-frequency sound waves that will damage your hearing. Lastly, if you ever observe an unsafe act that endangers anyone on the range, you have the responsibility to stop firing your weapon and shout, "Cease fire." If someone inadvertently goes downrange before it is safe, or if someone were to fall past the firing line, an immediate ceasefire should be called. Shooting sports have one of the best safety records in the entire sporting world. It seems remarkable considering that the sporting equipment that is used can cause instant death with the slip of a finger. Shooting can remain safe if the participants observe all safety rules all of the time. Other safety considerations concern those in the home. A majority of firearms-related injuries and deaths occur in the home. Children are often the victims of these tragedies. It only takes a few simple precautions to avoid deadly accidents in the home. Education is the first and most important key to preventing accidents. This applies to both kids and adults. Some adults are completely ignorant when it comes to firearms and will need to be educated as well as the children. When it comes to children, if they actually understand that guns can kill or severely injure people, they will be less likely to pick them up and play with them. It might mean taking them to the range and letting them see how loud and powerful firearms really are. There are several organizations that offer excellent gun safety videotapes and literature, most of which are free. A second consideration is to simply keep weapons out of sight. If children or adults cannot see the gun, then they will not be likely to pick it up and handle it. The temptation is removed. Treat ammunition the same way. The safest way to store any gun or ammunition is to store them separately from each other in a locked area. Guns cannot cause death or injuries if there is no ammunition to put inside of them. The use of a gun or trigger lock will also increase safety in the home. Trigger locks usually encompass the entire trigger guard area with a lockable piece of metal. This device prevents a finger or object from contacting the trigger. Even loaded guns can be kept in a safe condition with a properly placed trigger lock. Be aware that the use of a trigger lock will not prevent the gun from being loaded or a round chambered. Unless you are an extremely light sleeper and can jump from your bed in the middle of the night and react to deadly threats, don't keep loaded guns next to your bed. Not many people are even coherent after being awakened from a deep sleep. These people would not do well with a loaded gun in their hands and having to engage in a gunfight with a fully alert and awake intruder. This situation is how many homeowners end up killing family members or friends. Keep your self-defense weapons several moves and steps away from the bed. Also keep some type of lock on it that only you can remove quickly, not the intruder. If your weapon is kept in a drawer in your nightstand, guess what? That's where an intruder will probably look first. If he entered your home unarmed, you just helped him become that much more dangerous.